Hey guys, here we are at the Olympia and we are celebrating. Let me show you really quick. Let me show you what we're celebrating.
Oh yeah, the return of Miss Olympia 2020.
By the
Miss
way,
O.
we have these t-shirts for sale at the Wings of Strength booth and the fan pavilion.
That's right. And by the way, you can tune in to pay-per-view to watch this show.
Absolutely, yes. But let's go back to the women's bodybuilding, that women bodybuilders that competed this time. And what do you think about the lineup, Lenda? How did you like it?
Amazing lineup.
Do you feel like it's the level, the value, the beauty that was left when the Olympia stopped?
Actually, let me say this. I feel that considering that the Miss Olympia, we've been gone from this stage for 5 years, we've done extremely well to have such a lineup of women because I guess I want to say success interrupted.
Yeah.
We had some interruption. We were kind of all over the place because when you take the world championship, how do competitors motivate themselves, and what are they being inspired to compete for, to drive for, to strive for?
Well, but we had all of the shows that Wings of Strength put up, and we had the Rising Phoenix that kept on the tradition and kept a lot of those competitors, because I mean, I remember when we left in 2014, we had Debbie Lashevsky there.
That's right.
We had Iris Kyle,
That's
and we're
right.
going to talk about her in a second. Yakseni, she's back, right?
Yes, Yakseni.
But there are a bunch of new competitors like Andrea Shaw, like Nikki Chartrand, Rishana Mela Ash, Asha Hadley. So there's a lot of competitors, and I'm happy to see that actually when you look at the end of the day, here you are 5 years later, and you have more than half of the division with good quality competitors, right? Fresh blood into the division.
Fresh blood, and that's why.
So we're addressing Iris. She had some. She pulled out of the show.
And you talked to her. So why don't you?
I did.
You got
yes.
it from you had it.
She told me that she's been feeling sick for quite a while right now, and it's not COVID. She said she's done all her tests and everything, but she's going through some respiratory issues, and apparently they were getting bad. And as I talked to her, I could see that she was not doing well, and the doctors recommended that she would pull out of this because they gave her a lot of anti-inflammatory and a lot of antibiotics and a lot of stuff that obviously is going to affect a stage condition. But when you sit there and you think like, can I do it? Can I hold on to this for 24 more hours? And the doctors tell you no, it's too dangerous. And I think she did the right decision, and I'm sorry to hear that, because we were all looking forward to see what Iris is going to bring on stage, and I hope she recovers and feels better soon. But I think she made the wise choice.
She's a real competitor. Nothing's going to stop Iris. And
but
so if she says she's sick,
it's seriously a tragedy that you prepare so long for it, and we all know how hard it is. And it's your comeback, and Olympia is back, and then you get almost there, and one day before, because of health issues, you actually cannot make it. It's not a choice. It's the fact that in the end of the day, your life is more important. So I'm really happy that she made that call from this perspective, and I hope she feels better soon. But other than that, everybody else was on stage. And why don't you talk about the first call out, Lenda?
Oh, let's see. In the first call out, oh man, well, I was really super happy because in that first call out, actually we had 6 women in that first call out.
Yeah.
Irene Anderson, congratulations Irene. Margie Martin. We had Hella Trevino. Andrea Shaw. Mela Ash. And
Monique
Jones. So that was amazing.
That's
great
right.
call out.
Yes,
I was really
absolutely.
excited. I was excited basically too also because we had 4 veterans in there.
Yes.
And then we had two women that crossed over from women's physique into bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Just this year, just recently, Mayla, this is really only her second time competing
I know.
as a bodybuilder.
Yes. And I was talking to her, and I'm really a big fan of her physique. I think her lines are beautiful. Her structure and symmetry are gorgeous. She has a beautiful face. The way she presents herself is amazing, very feminine. I was talking to her and I was like, what made you decide? I mean, I know, like, when the moment I looked on her on stage, I saw her earlier this year, the first thing that stood out were her arms and shoulders. I was like, wow, that's a bodybuilder right there. So I was like, what decided and made you do this? And she said that because of the COVID situation we had, she didn't compete, and she just went to the gym and trained as hard as she liked to. So at the end of this, when she got out and she had to compete for something, she ended up too big.
Sure.
She's like, so I
like
did
that
what I
story.
wanted, I trained hard, and I ended up like this, and I was too big for physique. So I really love to give everything in the gym. So this is my division now.
Yes.
So I really like that
Very
story
good.
too.
And I love that story. And that's our new blood, you know.
She's
A lot of
definitely
us-
gifted, yes,
Yes.
absolutely. And
A lot
I was
of
happy
women-
to see her in that first call out there.
Very happy to see her in the
Also,
first call-out.
Andrea Shaw, she was in the middle of a few call outs, right?
And they did not move her.
She is our Rising Phoenix champion for 2020,
That's right.
and
She just won.
she looks sharper than she was
She
at
looks
Rising
sharper
Phoenix.
today.
Yeah.
And that is one thing I must say is we didn't get the chance to see Margie Martin. This is our first time seeing Margie.
Yes.
Margie did not compete in the Rising Phoenix, but we had the opportunity to see Monique and to see Hella, and Hella placed second to Andrea. We got a chance to see Andrea, and I would say out of the first call out, I think Irene looked sharper.
Yep.
Looked like Irene
She looked better conditioning.
was in
this
better
time. Yep.
conditioning, and I loved her. So I can see why she was in the first call out. And I think that what I would like to say, I think that Monique, she was not as sharp as she was at the Rising Phoenix.
Yeah.
And I'd also believe that, I don't know if I want to say that Hella was not from the rear. I think her glutes looked harder at the Rising Phoenix. I'm just speculating on that. So
I have to say that, you know, like looking at her physique this year that she brought, I feel like last year she was tighter, and especially her waist. The package she brought in 2019, I feel that it was more aesthetical, and then she was more streamlined when it comes to her physique and the way the X shape was achieved, right?
She was much more aesthetic, and I think that is what really makes the big difference between her and not only, I mean, between her and Andrea. I mean, she has more muscle. She's got more mature muscle. Hella does. You know, no question about it.
It's a structural difference between the two of them.
Yes, two different structures.
Exactly. And we as you mentioned before, this was the first time we saw Margie.
First time.
And this is not Margie's best I've seen.
No.
You know, she was softer on her glutes, on her back, on her legs. You know, it was definitely Andrea's legs came out like with a lot of pop and in better conditioning than
Yeah, and it seemed like, I'm not sure if she was feeling well. It seemed like there was something else off with her, because Margie's really, as far as like posing, I mean, we know that she's a great entertainer on stage. And so posing, you know, certain moves that you make and do, they're just instinctive for us. You don't even really have to practice. If you ask me to do a side tricep, I know how to reach and grab my arm. But there was something that she was a little off, so I'm thinking she wasn't feeling well.
It might be because of that. To be honest, like now that you're saying, she didn't come with the same confidence and shine. You know, like she gets there and she always gets her position. You know, and she's always like very adamant about, I know how good I look. And I feel like this time she was not entirely so convincing and with the same attitude,
with the
right?
same
That
confidence.
she usually comes.
Yeah.
But
it's been a different year.
Absolutely. So. Well, Irene looks like she has great conditioning, and this is what pulled her on the third place at the Rising Phoenix last year. She came in really tight and hard and sharp, and I think she's gonna end up in the top 5. And if she nails the 5th place, she's qualified for next year's Olympia, and that will be absolutely fantastic. Who else? We saw Asha Hadley.
Asha Hadley
right?
looked great.
Great lines.
Asha Hadley looked great. Great lines on Asha.
Yakseni looked great too, like from the
Yaksani
front.
looked great from the front.
I
She
liked
really
her.
did.
From the back, I felt like she lacks a little bit of the 3D details of the back,
Yes,
right?
I like the way you say that 3D
No, it's
details.
because it's
No, I
literally
understand.
all
You're
the
right. It's
details of
3D
the
detail.
muscles of the back,
Yeah.
the lats of the back muscles. So she was a little bit flat in that department. And you know who I also found too flat? I don't know if she didn't carb up enough. Kim Bak.
Yeah.
Kim
yeah.
Bak her muscles were not popping. I felt like she looked too flat, and maybe she cut too much water. I don't know exactly, or she didn't eat enough carbs, but she looked flatter than what I've seen her in the past.
yeah.
Which show did she win this year?
She placed second twice. She placed second in my show at the Savannah
Yeah.
Pro, and she plays, I believe, second. It was not the Chicago or the.
Was it Omaha?
Yeah.
I think
can't
I think
remember.
it was Omaha the first
She
first
placed
one.
second twice in 2020, and she
Yes.
got to the Olympia.
But she was one of
points.
these.
Second is very
Yeah,
good.
she
It's
was very
excellent.
very sharp and popping at that show. That's why comparing to that previous show, I feel like right now she was a little bit behind. We had Nikki Chartrand, always had beautiful
Yes.
lines,
Beautiful
right?
lines on Nikki. I know that.
Yeah. That was
Sally
not her
had her
sharpest shape, though. We saw her last year at the Rising Phoenix and the year before in a sharper, more tighter shape.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And so again, the challenges of COVID.
And Margita Zamolova moving over, like
Right,
finally
Margita.
managing to travel from the Czech Republic over here with all the restrictions. The
And
same-
Margita is always in just rock hard shape.
Exactly,
I mean,
sharp.
Margita transitioned from women's physique and moved into women bodybuilding. And I think this is her second competition as a female bodybuilder. She
It's the
competed.
third.
It's her third.
She won the Europa Pro this
That's
year in
right.
October. She got, I think, fourth at the Romania Muscle Fest, and this would be her third show
Okay.
as a professional
as
athlete.
a-
But yeah, we are all very excited to see
Yes.
everybody tonight and
Yes.
see how this
And I just-
top 6 will play
Yes,
out.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, the
And
ladies look amazing.
for sure, we're going to have a new Miss Olympia tonight.
That's right, for sure.
Right?
We will. And
Because
we
nobody else
predicted-
won it other than Yakseni, but she
Yes.
doesn't. She was
and I
not in the top
predict
call.
that Andrea Shaw will be our new Miss Olympia.
I like your prediction. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Tune back in, guys.